things that I've been trying to learn are things that weren't taught to me in my childhood. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Because I wasn't expected to ever have to work a 9 to 5 job. I was never ever had expected to work. I was expected to be a minister in the nation of Islam. I was expected to be a captain, have
Okay.
some, or working in a business, a black business and stuff. But that didn't work out. So when that bubble was burst, everyone was just left, just cast as under. You understand? So everyone had to figure out for themselves what was right, what was wrong. You spend a whole life living under restrictive rules,
Mm.
laws, that stuff. And for me, that was like coming out of lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
This time, like coming out of lockdown because it was like, wow, I can smoke, I can drink, I can have sex, I can
Yeah.
stay up all night, I can party, I can wear these trainers, I don't have to wear a suit every day. Like, it's just really just
Yeah,
thinking,
yeah,
all
yeah.
these, like, wow, this and
Yeah,
that.
options, yeah, options.
Uh, so for me, I think, yeah, it's hard because I'm trying to relearn, or in my case, I'm not trying to relearn myself. I'm trying to discover myself for the first time.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
there's a lot of things that you have to work through in order to get to that point.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Dealing with childhood traumas, understanding your behaviors, and understanding that most of your habits and behaviors aren't things that you created or things
Mm-hmm.
that put into you. You understand? So my habit for getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning is based on the fact that my stepdad would come in my room and would kick my bed, could wake me up every single morning if I wasn't awake at a certain time. So
Mm-hmm.
now I wake up sometimes. Sometimes I'll wake up at 6:30, but my dad's not here. I'm going back to sleep. It's that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's the process of trying to learn your true self and trying to discover who you are demands a lot of honesty
Mm-hmm.
self about who you are. And by that, I mean what triggered my journey on this human way, self-discovery, this stuff is that one of the ironic things about the Nation of Islam was that obviously my mum's a member and she when the Nation of Islam dispersed. Now my mum was like, you're so talented, you're intelligent, you go out there and get a job now. For me, that's like, what? Like, I was told I'm never working for the white man. Like,
Yeah.
that's what I was grew up told. That was my childhood. So it's like, all right, cool. But something didn't feel right within me doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I would get jobs and I would be working for 3 months at a time. And after 3 months, my head, I know my brain cells are dying at this point. I'm coming into a job and I'm repeating myself and repeating myself and repeating myself. I have never in my life, up until this point, ever had to repeat or do the same thing
Mm.
every single day. You understand? So
Yeah.
that was a struggle for me. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Every single day I was doing something different, going to a forest to stay, studying maths, but a different topic, studying English, but a different topic. My whole life there was some kind of change. There wasn't a routine based
And it
life.
was, and it seemed like it, and it was always progression.
See that progress. But
Yeah.
after if I'm in a job and I don't see progress in that job, why am I here?
Yeah.
What are you doing for me? Oh, it's money. I don't really care about money. I care about experiences. You understand? I care about learning about the world that I live in, and by through having those experiences, I can understand the world better.
Mm-hmm.
Money comes that for me. You understand? But I now I've learned to align that with my purpose, to understand that yeah, we do need money to function in this world, but understanding your purpose, you are able to attract more money to you. Do you understand? But
Facts.
in order to be honest about who you are, in the nation of Islam, we call that the self-accusing spirit.
Okay.
And the self-accusing voice or the self-accusing spirit is that voice that you hear when you're about to do something bad. And it's
Okay.
like, you don't do it. You probably shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
That's what we call it. That self-accusing spirit. When you are going to do something that goes against who you are, that voice pipes up in your head. But oftentimes,
Okay.
oftentimes we have to nullify that voice, we quieten that voice because we have to fit in, we have to submit, we have to, you understand? So often we kill ourselves in order to fit in to the world now that we live in. Because as a child, you know, your name's Chucks, right?
Yeah.
Right?
That's my full name. That's
Yeah.
that's a shortened version of my name.
Okay.
My full name is longer. Yeah.
The full name is
Wachuku.
what you? Okay. Okay.
Oh, there you go.
I like that name.
Yeah.
So you can feel the spirit of Wakanda in that name. Yeah. Yeah. So there's a naming in itself, the names that we have. We didn't choose our names.
Yes.
Our identity from birth was given to us by someone else. You understand? So how can you tell me who you are? How do you know that you are Wichuku? You didn't decide that you're Wichuku.
True.
You
True.
understand?
True.
So it's based on that basis, then someone asks your name, and then everything that comes with that name, the history of that name, the family, your family's lineage, that stuff, all of that is back to you, and that's what you step forward with. But that's not. Oh, you understand?
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I agree. I do think that it is. I feel like that's a part of that's still an element. I think this is me and my god brother. We speak about this. Growing up, we spoke about it. That your name is the one word that you hear the most in your life, and you know, as a Rasta, word sound has power in it. So that's how we're raised. That's what we believe, right? So, when this one word is spoken to you, it has like you said, it has a history. It has a lineage of people and of meaning to that name. So when the name is spoken onto you, it it ignites energy within you, right? So yes, it's not who you are, but it is a part of who you are. And I think that is the power or the gift of being a parent, is being able to
Give that to
give
someone.
that to somebody.
But where it gets funny in this world is how to move control that comes with naming someone, the sense of ownership that comes with naming.
But
That's where,
that's them, not you. That's
say again?
them, not you. That's them, not you.
I don't even know if I want to name my child, man. I'll be like, no, what? He's going to be nameless. When you
Yeah,
get older, when they give yourself a name.
yeah, yeah. I hear you.
It is that I think if you understand the culture, of naming in Africa, in our region and stuff, it is about understanding the spirit of the child.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
our ancestors realized that children and babies were not their offspring. They were bringing something into the world as of the future. They were bringing another spirit into the
Yeah,
world.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that child to respect and honor the spirit that that child who's meant to be. Do you understand? You know, when people say that
Yeah.
other past times, you know, that we live in past lives, when we step into this physical suit, we're saying that the spirit that has lived various lifetimes before us, we've lost the identity of who that spirit is. Because come into the child, we're innocent beings. You understand? We grapple at everything. We're looking for answers. We're curious. You know? We want to understand the world, and that's our rights as human beings. That's who we are. Our curiosity is what, you know, we are taught that curiosity kills the cat. But does it really? You understand? You know? It does kill the cat. What exactly is this cat?
Yeah.
Is that I've been curious and I've found that a side of myself has been killed as a result of that. You understand? So it's when it comes to names and identity, I accept what you were saying about, you know, as a parent, there's a power in that. But then when you take that power to mean that you don't have ownership of someone, that's when you then curtail their identity.
Now that I agree with.
You're taking them from their natural path to what you think is good for them.
Facts.
As parents say, I'm doing what I think is good for you. I'm doing what I know I always make. And there's nothing wrong with that. But there's also a need to understand that children are the future. If you need to educate a child on how to protect themselves from harm in this world, because this is how the world has always been, then you as a parent, you as an adult who has lived in this world before this child hasn't done enough to create a world for that child where you wouldn't need to tell them to protect themselves, but you wouldn't need to tell them to look out for the con man. You wouldn't need to understand that we create the world that we live in. You understand? As much as we talk government and stuff, everything, silence is the same as acceptance.
Facts. Definitely. Yeah.
We accept what a government imposes on you. Accept. Obviously, some people believe that we're powerless, but are we really powerless?
Definitely not.
You understand? So that's my kind of slant when it comes to identity, is that you'll find that when you really delve deep into how many families interact and how many families are formed, you'll notice there's a lot of control. That love that we say that we have for everyone is mostly conditional. It's not unconditional.
That's very true. That's fair.
Someone gives a present that you don't like in Christmas, you're cussing them for a whole year until next Christmas. You understand that love is conditional. Someone doesn't. If they don't help you fix your car, they don't help you paint your house, suddenly you don't want to talk to them no more. You don't understand the love that we know in this West that we've been grown to know is conditional, and therefore it is not true love. We love based on what we can control someone to do.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's where parents and children, the clash tend to begin, because a parent's idea of love is, if you do this degree and get the doctorate, I will love you. Know you're gonna make me look so good. You're gonna validate me as a parent. Gonna validate all that you do, all the struggle that I've been through. But if you go out and do this career as a singer, a stripper, or whatever it is you want to do, then you got to validate me as a parent. You understand that where it comes down to an ego thing a lot of the time, and that's where I tend to find that I'm a lot. My views on parenting, my views on parents, my views on how we parent would be considered quite radical to many. It could be
Share. Give me. Share. Give me. The reason I ask, the reason I ask you is because I agree. In theory, I agree with what you say. I agree that it's not, when you become a parent, it's not about what you want. It's about what's best for this new person, or this person that is new to the world that you've created, as you say. Where I struggle is with the idea of foresight. So when people say hindsight is 2020, um, so people say I can I've been through this, I've been through all of this, and
yeah,
it has brought me to this point, and I have experienced this.
yeah,
So I do not want my child to go down that
mm,
road. But I understand that they are their own person,
mm,
and they have to walk their path,
yes, yes,
right? So it's a fine line. It's a fine line between um, instruction and direction,
yeah.
or that no instruction and control.
So
So
yeah,
yeah. So how do
I was
you? Yeah.
more direction. Yeah, instruction. Yeah, instruction. See, the thing is, what most people are mistaken with me when they come into my Instagram page is they think I'm someone who's going to be putting out workouts, who's going to
Hmm.
be like doing workout plans. Like, I don't have the patience for that. Like,
Yeah.
if you want to learn, then I can teach you, but you need to be willing to explore and do
Mm.
what, I don't have answers for you. I'll give you the tools that you need to get the answers for yourself. You
It's the
understand? And
nation of
that's
Islam teaching.
how I would parent.
Hmm.
I would give children the answer. I would give them the tools that they need, and that is what I believe parents need to focus on. If you, for me, if a parent is cussing Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, all of that stuff, for not doing enough, to protect their children from bullies, that parent has failed.
Hmm. I agree.
Instagram, Snapchat, all that stuff, they're not the problem. The problem is the fact that your child isn't strong enough within themselves to know themselves, within themselves to be who they are and stand outside in the world as a strong person. You haven't
Hmm.
given them tools to be able to stand out and be able to know that there will be people out there who will hate them. There will be people out there who will be so full of hate that they will want to come out there and take from their happiness and their joy so that they can bring them down to their level. You understand? The problem isn't social media. The problem is the fact that we're raising
Mm.
children on mentally, spiritually, even physically stable. You
Hmm.
understand? That's awesome. You understand? And because of that, they're vain. They're going looking for validation on social media. You understand? And
Yeah.
that's where I start to see where, for me, the parenting has taken a downturn because I've always been an intergenerational, the intergeneration gap. From like when I was 15, I would do like research on the gap between generations and how the older generation and younger generation they just seem to be getting further and further apart in their understanding of each
Right.
other. Now you can see that even more so because I think in 2010 I was actually talking about social media. I was writing blogs about social media and the privacy laws that they were creating and how they're giving too much, they're giving away too much information. I was also talking about how parents didn't understand what their children were doing, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
buying stuff, and that is going to have an impact on their children's mental health.
Hmm.
Now you're seeing all these things being written about all the time, this, that, and this, that. For me, the phone, social media, all that stuff, that's not the problem. I didn't get my first phone until I think I was 12, 13, 14. Yeah, about 14, 15, I got my first phone and
Yeah.
stuff. I'm seeing kids at 6, 7, 8
Yeah.
walking around with a phone now. And it's not
Hmm.
just that. When I got my phone, yeah, I couldn't even play Snake on the phone, but it was
Hmm.
so basic, yeah.
Yeah.
All you could do was text and call.
Hmm.
That
I hear you.
everybody, children, they've got internet, they've got Snapchat, they've got this, they've got that. The parents have pushed them out, pushed them away in that sense.
But let me
Yeah.
let me I don't even like the term devil's advocate, but I'll use it. If if the phones that exist now were around then
Mm,
and the same price point, I believe I probably would have had the same thing. I would have had the same options. I think. because I think it costs now for an internet phone. I don't know. You could probably get it for less than £100, right? And I believe that my first phone that my mum got for me when I was probably about the same age was a rubbish phone as well. But that was probably, I don't know how much my mum paid for it. She didn't tell me, but it was probably a decent amount of money at that time. So, um, what I think is that parents need to, like you said, it's a parent's responsibility to control the environment
Mm. That's
rather
it.
than
Uh,
control
so,
the
uh,
child.
yes.
I think that's kind of what you're saying, right?
Yeah, it basically is you do need to control the environment because children are creatures of chaos.
Hmm.
Chaos cannot be controlled. Chaos should not be
Yeah,
controlled.
yeah.
It is because I subscribe to chaos theory, and chaos theory is such that it's within chaos that you can find patterns that then lead you to new orders. You understand? And if
Hmm.
a child, you say that children are the future, then children are the ones who notice the pattern. That's why you notice these videos that people laugh about where a child is put off an adult on their behavior or their attitude and that stuff. These children are noticing patterns. That's their innocence. That's them showing you what the world would look like if people were kinder, if people were nice. Do you understand? And we'll be
Hmm.
like, oh, how cute and stuff. But that's not going to happen. Why? Because we, the adults, don't want that to happen. We are making that happen. We are controlling the environments that we create for our children. You understand? We're allowing other people to create environments for the children.
Yeah.
Understand? But the most radical thing for me, I would say about parents is that if you haven't gone through a journey of self-discovery, dealing with your trauma or whatever it is you've gone through, you're going to do it to your children. You're going
Hmm.
to pass that negativity, that energy onto your children, because it won't be abuse, but children, I can't remember. There's a quote that I read online once, and it says something like, children do not listen to advice. Yeah, children do not follow your advice; they follow your lead.
Hmm. Yeah.
Uh, One thing I always struggled with was parent. In my case, my mom would be asking me to no start a business, run my business, no go, no be, no do what I'm doing and stuff. And it's not necessarily going very well. It was maybe struggling a little bit,
Hmm.
but my mom would feel entitled to be able to tell me how my business is going or to tell me that this is what I should be doing, this is where I should be, this is where but mind is like, okay, that's cool, but you need to be there. Why aren't you there? Why don't you have your own business? Why don't you have this money? Why aren't you a millionaire? You understand? That's why I'm saying that if you put that pressure on your children to be that, then you also have to put that pressure on yourself to be the same thing.
That's
That,
facts.
that to be it's like parents seem together. All right, cool. There's a future now. I've done my bit. There's a child there. I'm gonna raise you. My life stop. Your life begin. I don't need to change no more. You have to do all the change. You have to do all the improvement because I've done it
Hmm.
all. And then they bombard you with all the experience that they have and how their experience outweighs yours. And because of that, but I'm like, you lived in the 1960s. I'm living in 2020, man. It's not the same time.
Yeah.
It's different
Yeah.
time. It's just the type of that's what I say. There's so many various elements that really go into unpicking the issues that arise from parenting and children, why children are the way they are today, why they're doing the things that they're doing today, and what
Hmm.
they're doing on social media is natural. It's what children will do anyway.
Hmm.
But you put they've grown up in that environment, but then to turn around and then point the finger at the children as being the problem instead of the parents. You
Hmm.
understand? go on and say that Facebook or Instagram is the problem, rather than the parents that are raising these bullies who go online so hateful, so unloved, that they want to go and put that onto someone else. So our whole process is to externalize the problem rather than to look at ourselves. And this goes back to what I'm saying about you need to be honest with yourself and who you are. And that's where you begin to question, am I really the person that I think I am? Am I really, as intelligent? Am I really as chaste? Am I really as righteous? Am I really
yeah.
old and as do I really want to be this millionaire flash body, who's got popping money, champagne, do I really want to be these things, or is this something someone else has made me? Does someone make me feel so inadequate that I need to be something bigger than what I really am? You understand? And that's just what it tends to be. Someone made you feel so inadequate that you're compensating now.